right, welcome back into Indiebnb. Today we are joined by JJ Slater out of beautiful Western Massachusetts. JJ, how are you on this lovely Monday night?
I'm good. Just got done playing a little music, and now I'm in the back of a brewery doing an interview. So bouncing
The
around.
life. I love it. Well, you're actually one of our first folks to come like fresh off a gig. So I mean, how'd it go? Like, what'd you play? What'd you like?
I was kind of just jumping between like new stuff I barely knew, just testing it out, and like upcoming songs and covers, just sort of picking out on the patio. It's kind of one of those breweries that's near a bike path, so you play out into the bike path and hope you kind of bring people in on a Monday.
Nice. Well, hopefully that went well. I mean, interesting. So do you have a couple that are trying to still work on and kind of get a crowd reaction from, kind of some crowd work?
Always, yeah, always have at least like one new song where I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever done, and you just want to try it and then see if you're right. Usually, well, I don't know. If you say it's the greatest thing you've ever done, that's a fair thing to judge. Like
Yeah,
if you're only judging against yourself, it's not too cocky.
certainly.
So,
Well,
but
cool. Well, I mean, what got you? I did a little reading on your website, which we'll have links below here. So if anyone wants to check out JJ's music and all of the everything JJ Slater, it'll be right there at the bottom. But like,
I'm gonna
you
update that soon.
know,
It's definitely like a year-old website. When I look at it, I'm like, yo, I gotta update it because I got a record coming, so I gotta like get it ready for that. So,
I
but if
got.
it's there, that's great. Thank you for putting that there.
Of course, man. Well, what I mean, you got a record coming. You got a couple that are. You've got one out right now from that was released this year. So what's is that a part of that project, or will the waterfall of singles be coming soon? What's going on there?
So yeah, I have two EPs up under my own name on all the streaming and stuff, and I sell them. And then I do have a record coming out in November that I put out one single for so far a couple weeks ago. The Time Is Finally Right is the single, and the record is called The Silver Key. I could go on about that if you want.
Well, I want to dive into the single for sure.
Okay, for
I did
sure.
give that a listen and kind of got the bluesy vibe from it, and a little bit different than Zephyr from your previous project. So like what I guess what kind of got you from nothing to something on that song? Like where did it start from?
So that song, "The Time Is Finally Right," is actually the end of the record that I'm putting out. It's the last song on the record, and I was given this residency grant in Taos, New Mexico, 2 summers ago, where I went and I lived in a little adobe casita, and I was given 2 months to just carte blanche, like write music. So I focused particularly on a project where it was like a song cycle. It was an album that told a story front to back. And so I wrote it, like I actually wrote the songs in order, like at the residency, like song by song. And I wrote the whole album. I felt like I had an ending, and my partner was coming to pick me up, and we were going to go on a tour back to Massachusetts, and she was late by a day. She got pulled over in Arkansas and was getting harassed and had to like find a motel and chill for the night. So she was late by a day, and I was playing the album all the way through because I wanted to present it to her to be like, this is what I did. And I decided that actually it could use one more song. It needed just like a chill, like end credits song that didn't have too much going on and was just like laid back and just like a good mood tune. So I wrote this song, "The Time Is Finally Right," as that like end credits good mood tune. And when I was trying to pick what song to put out first, I was like, I feel like this one it doesn't have a hook that beats you over the head. It's not super complex, but the vibe is like nice. It's a nice sum for the album.
I
So
love it.
that's where that came from.
Starting with the end for the album. I like it.
Yeah,
Kind
the
of getting
next song
there.
I'm putting out is the second to last song on the album. So I'm not doing it all the way front back to front, but like I figured start with because anyway, when you put out an album on streaming, like the last couple of songs have the least amount of plays just by the nature of the beast, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna put out the last couple songs first, just to give him a chance, you know.
I mean, they're all your children here. I mean, you're trying to give them all the same love and attention. Hopefully, everybody whenever they stream the album will be able to do
Yeah.
the same. So
Do you mind if I sip a beer on camera?
you're good, man. You get in
Okay.
there. Yeah.
I just thought I'd ask. I don't know if it was. I just have a full one, and it's like sitting
Oh,
off screen by like,
oh no, we can't get that thing warm now. Don't do that.
No.
Um, well, so you went out to New Mexico. I mean, like I want to kind of dive into that experience. I mean, so how'd you get that like opportunity? Like what what made you want to do that? Like where did that all come from?
Well, I heard about it through the grapevine, from other people. They It's called the Helene Wurlitzer Foundation. And I'd found out about it, and I applied, and it took a few months, and I found out I got it. And they have writers, painters, and composers, and the writers can be poets or prose. And there's, I think, 11 different casitas on the property, and they kind of pick people from different disciplines, and they let you go for 10 weeks, and you can just write, and you don't have to turn anything in at the end. So at the end of the summer, I just had a bunch of rough demos, and I was like, all right, bye. And now 2 years later, I, rehearsed them with a band, played them at gigs, and then we spent like 6 months, kind of like one song at a time, off and on, running in and out of the studio, just like recording the songs. And I think it came out really cool. It's like very cosmic. It's like cosmic, funky Americana the whole way through, and there's some psychedelic parts to it. But yeah, Taos was. I don't know if you're familiar with Taos specifically, but it has this very spiritual um, vibe to it, and a lot of people say they come there and they feel really inspired. There's people who build like earth ships out in the desert, and it's a cool desert too because it's high up, so you get a lot of vegetation, a lot of trees, a lot of sagebrush, but it's still the desert. So it's got this cool like mystical feeling to it, very in the middle of nowhere, um, which was really cool, and it lent itself very well to like writing music, especially with a particular vibe. And so it's been a couple years now. I've gone back several times to play gigs, and it's great to finally be releasing the music that I wrote out there.
Now, is most of the album coming from that experience, or that's coming out soon, or is it the whole thing? The whole thing. You said it was like kind of a one
Yep,
go. So is it all from there?
yep. So the whole project, I probably wrote the album in about a month's time, because I remember I got out there. The first 2 weeks, I had horrible imposter syndrome, and I couldn't write anything. I was like, why am I here? And then there was this minute where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write nothing. I'm gonna show these artsy people that I tricked them. And I got in my head a little too much. And but then I remember it was the 4th of July weekend. I took a little bit of acid, and I went to see the Elvis movie. The crazy Elvis movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And it kind of took me out of myself, and I was like, you know what? It's okay to make something that's really cool, even though it's not like good. You know what I mean? That's like when I saw the movie, I was like, dude, this movie's ridiculous. It's incredibly entertaining, really cool. Maybe it's a little dumb, but that's fine. So that's what got me out of my head and was able to just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna write stuff. I'm just gonna be cool. It doesn't have to be an artistic achievement. And I finally just was like able to sit down and write like every day, crumple something up, throw it out, write the next day. And I wrote the album in like a few weeks time, like up in this house in the desert. And the arrangements sort of came after I got home and started playing them with the band, and we got the little like cool riffs in there. But the songs were from like this very particular like 4 week period in New Mexico.
Yeah, it's like you kind of like took the pressure off yourself almost, and was like, you know what, like I'm just gonna do it. Let's just like create
Yeah,
something. It can be a bubblegum chewed pop song, or whatever, like kind
yeah.
of whatever it needed to be. I love that.
Some
It
of
kind of
it's a little heady, some of it's a little just like laid back rock music, some of it's a little seriously emotional, some of it's a little like goofy. I feel like I wanted to capture Like I wanted to capture all of the different, you know what I mean, possibilities of like an emotional experience listening to and playing a song, you know. And there's a bunch of whittly guitar all over it because I just like to play guitar, you know. So
I love it. I love it. Well, is that part of like the Silver Key? Like, is that something that has significance to Taos, or is that something you came up with
it's
after?
it's something I came up with. Well, I when I wrote the song, the first song on the record, it was initially just mouth sounds, and I was trying to come up with like phrases to put to the mouth sounds, and the Silver Key kind of just became. I was like, that sounds like a good name for a motel, because the record is about a young person who kind of grows up to be lonely and inside their own head and has a hard time putting themselves out there and finding their community and finding their person. And as they try and be an adult in a city, they repeatedly return to this motel that they would get dragged to as a kid to kind of hide. And then eventually they quit their job and move into the motel and try and be an artist to connect with people. And then finally they meet someone and go off and live happily ever after. And the Silver Key is the name of the motel, and it's also the name of a the guy who did all the Cthulhu stuff. What's his name? Uh,
Oh, I just Lovecraft.
Lovecraft. Lovecraft had a short story called The Silver Key that I read in like probably high school, and I forgot if it was Wells or Lovecraft, but it's about a guy who has a chest in his attic, and he unlocks it with a silver key, and he can crawl through it and go back to his childhood. So I thought that would be like an appropriate name for the motel that is from this guy's childhood that he keeps returning to. Um, so that's the plot and the reason why I called it that.
I love it. And then the time is finally right is when he leaves the motel.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
that's
total goes full circle there.
he picks, he finds his person. They decide on a place to go, and the song before the time is finally right is like the like solemn decision that this is the person, this is the place, and then the time is finally right is the song where it's just like, yeah, let's go. It's just the sound of like driving off into the sunset, you know.
Love that. I can't wait to listen to it all the way through with the full, kind of the full range of emotion. It's going to be, awesome.
Yeah,
That feeling.
it's I think the song is cool, but it's pretty simple, and I really want people to hear the record, and I purposefully was like, it's not gonna be longer than 35 minutes. It's gonna be a short record. Um, and I had my friend Jameson do a piece of art for each song. So there's going to be a booklet with each song has a painting, and we actually framed each painting and then took a picture of the painting in a frame with objects on a dresser that relate to the lyrics in the songs, so that they kind of like freeze them in place. But yeah, so there's a visual component to every song, um, that I'm hoping to get out there as well, through like the physical releases and stuff.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. That'll be you can put them all on a T-shirt, every track, or
Yeah,
something.
I mean that's the thing. It's like once you have it done, like the hard part, it's like okay, what can I kind of like do? Make posters or whatever,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Well, very cool. Well, kind of switching gears here. You mentioned like you've gone, a little bit more. You've gigged out back in Taos since you left. The kind of the writing, retreat and everything. Like, talk to me about where you've played, where you like playing. Like, what are some of the places that you kind of have your fondest memories at? Just having some experiences playing live
In that area.
in anywhere. Yeah.
Oh, in anywhere. Oh, that's a big. So in terms of like weird gigs, I played a hot spring in Utah, in Monroe, Utah, called Mystic Hot Springs, and it's a bunch of bathtubs that are on the side of a mountain where like the minerals have grown over the bathtubs, and they have hoses that pipe the hot spring water like right into the bathtubs. And I played basically facing like all these bathtubs at sunset. It was like a big rainbow and stuff. It was like that was pretty cool. Um, I this past summer I played a folk festival called Larry Fest in Lafarge, Wisconsin. The Western Wisconsin is also one of my favorite places to play. It's a rural area. There's a hotel called the Trempolo Hotel that a lot of like wandering musicians go and play out that way. It's on the Mississippi River. Um, Mason City, Iowa. There's a spot called Bricks Wine and Whiskey that I think is expanding. Um, that town is really cool. It was where the guy who wrote the Music Man's from. So they got all this old musical stuff there that I really like. I love playing Tucson. That's a city that is just cool, and like I've met some really cool musicians out there. We played with we've done two different kinds of shows. There's this group called Desert Music Project, and there's a group called Ohms, and they're kind of like a psychedelic instrumental desert music. And then we played some stuff with Liz and Pete, which includes Pete Ronstadt, who's from a member like the Ronstadt family. We've done like folk shows with them, so it's been like a cool dichotomy every time I go to Tucson. And then Bisbee next door to it is a cool little town. I like playing small town. I'm from a small town. When you roll up to a small town, people are like, "Thank you so much for coming." When you roll up to a bar in New York City, like you don't get that kind of response. You got to draw like fans and find fans if in order to like have a good show in like a big city. But in a small town, you can just roll up with your stuff, and people are like, "This is great." So
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. You've got like I mean the mid looks like you've kind of got you've checked boxes in all the places. I mean the Midwest and almost all the way out, kind of that Arizona, Tucson
yeah.
area, but like anywhere you want to play that you haven't played yet, you feel like?
Well, I'm hitting Germany in a couple weeks. Me and Lexi Weege, who's my duo partner, she sang the harmony on "The Time Is Finally Right" and sang on like most of that record. We're going to Germany and Switzerland in a couple weeks, and we're gonna play a bunch of shows that sound really cool. There's like a couple dive bars and a couple of concerts and a couple of like dinner and a show kind of things, which that'll be cool. I've never played out of the country, so I guess that's like the next one. I'd like to
Nice.
try and get out to LA because Jameson, who did the art for the Silver Key, also plays music, and I want to do a show out in his neighborhood, and do like have him play and have all the art displayed. So that I'm trying to hook up for like probably winter, so I can get out of New England and go to California for a week. you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, any thoughts? Are you moving out to like kind of the like that Southwest area? Like, I
I don't
mean,
know. I'd like to live out there for a long period of time again. It's tough because I don't really have roots down in New England, but I have a lot of connections and there's a lot of gigs that I can get in New England. So I've talked to some friends, and as we start to age out of our 20s and into like more adult, but we still want to just be musicians all the time. We've been talking like we should just be snowbirds, because we got these connections in New Orleans and Tucson and Texas. We could play enough gigs in the South all winter and then come back up here in the summer and just like sublet a room or something. So, or like even Airbnb a place for a month. I know that's kind of ethically like, you know, for some people a little gray area, but I kind of like drifting a little bit, drifting with a plan 6 months ahead. Like that's sort of, you know, I would love to live in New Mexico though. I feel like once the drifting kind of has to stop, I feel like I gotta live in the Southwest at least right now.
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you kind of have you don't feel like you feel like you're home, but you're like I don't really have a lot holding me here. It's just
No,
like
I mean I've lived in the same rental for 6 years out here. I have a little warehouse spot where I have like used pianos that I pick up and fix and flip. So that's kind of how I make a little money on you know, in between tours. I tune pianos. And so I do have 11 pianos and an apartment that I kind of have holding. I've been working around it.
yeah,
But I guess that's not like anywhere near what some folks have. So
sure.
I can do all this stuff still.
Yo, my brother lives down the street. I gotta be in Atlanta, man. That's fine. I got roots here. I mean, it's like some people have you got pianos. I got family right down the road. So
Yeah,
things that
yeah.
kind of
I'm
keep
from.
places.
My family all lives near Cape Cod, which I don't know if you know Massachusetts. I'm like on the other side of Massachusetts. You
Yeah.
know. Um,
Gotcha. Well, cool. Well, we're excited about Silver Key coming out. Obviously, a start to finish album will be out in November. When's the second to last song coming out for you? When's the next release?
I'm doing one September 30th, and then I'm doing another single uh, at the end of October, beginning of November. I have to actually set it up still, but around there. I'm trying to do like 4 to 5 weeks,
Yeah.
and then after that will be the full album, and I'll keep talking about it online for at least like 6 months.
We love it. We love it. Well, September 30th, everyone be on the lookout. Go ahead and follow him on Spotify. Then you don't have to even be on the lookout. It'll tell you when it's coming out. It'll be that much easier. So his name will be right there in the description below. Last thing we want to do here, Pete Peterson's party pack of questions, rapid fire, food based questions. Really, really answering the tough ones here. So if you are ready for that, we can dive into a little bit of Pete Peterson here.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions, 20 questions right in a row. Here we go. Cake or pie?
Pie.
Let's pieing it up. All right. Salad or soup? All right. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of?
Sunset, absolutely. More sunset.
Would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Home run.
Home run. All right.
Yeah.
Fenway action. We like it. All right. Night in or night out? What are you having more of?
What am I having more of? Well, outside of like gigs, night in. But I play gigs enough where it's probably night out,
Yeah. I got you. Well, when you do go out on your own time, not working, and your jam comes on, are you more likely to hit the robot or the worm on the dance floor?
Robot.
He's a robot. All right.
Yes.
Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
Queso.
All right. Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
All right.
Definitely.
Coffee or tea with your waffles?
What? Oh.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee, though. All right. Dogs or cats?
Man, it depends on the dog. And I guess the cat. A medium dog.
A medium dog.
Yes.
I like that.
Giant dogs and tiny dogs, I would take a cat over, but medium dog over all that.
Right. Medium dog sounds like a sweet album name too. So maybe file that one away for another time.
Yeah.
Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
Ninja. I have a black belt, technically.
Oh, all right. Let's go.
From childhood, I didn't have to beat up an adult to get it, so it's like,
Gotcha. All right. Gatorade or Powerade? What are you drinking more of on the road?
Gatorade.
All right. Toast or bagels?
It's another one where it's like sourdough toast, but like I would take like a bagel over like wheat seedy toast,
Yeah. Okay. Chips or pretzels?
Chips.
Chipping it up. All right. Fries or tots?
Fries.
Would you rather unwind with a TV show or a movie at the end of the day?
Ooh, movie. You could one and done, like.
Yeah. Easy. All right. Are aliens real?
Yes. Yeah.
Spend a lot of time in New Mexico, folks. He's definitely he might have some actual evidence.
Oh, I have some stories about cryptids from Texas and New Mexico.
What about Bigfoot? Is that real?
I think somewhere in the world. Whether the one in the northwest of America is truly Bigfoot, I think something like that exists somewhere in the world.
Okay. What about love at first sight? Is that real?
I think so.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but I think it's real,
Are you give me a couple bands or, people we might not know about? Give me two bands that we ought to check out that we might not know about. The final question here, Pete Peterson's Party Pack. Two bands we might not know we ought to check out.
Safety Coffin, bluesy band from Asheville, and I'm trying to think of another like a local band that The Grays. The Grays are a great local band. They're putting out songs. Their drummer is the drummer on the Silver Key. So
All right. We got Safety Coffin and the Grays, so we'll definitely have to check those out and get them going on our page. Hopefully, maybe they come on the show next. Who knows?
yeah, I'll forward your info.
Yeah, would love that. Well, JJ, we appreciate you taking the time on this Monday evening. I hope you get to enjoy the rest of that beer you got there, and maybe pick out a few more songs while you still got a little bit of daylight left up there. And thank you so much for coming on the show. And again, everybody follow him on Spotify. September 30th, his next release will be coming out of the Silver Key. The Silver Key itself comes out in November. So, everybody get excited and, look to, stay in touch with him through social media and go from there.
Cool. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you.